Hi everyone, it's Massimo here. Welcome to a new episode on Shake QTV.
Europe is running short on electricity.
Prices for many fuels have soared to new records in recent weeks.
The real question is whether you have the political will to do the right thing.
Our addiction to fossil fuels is pushing humanity to the brink.
Our green tour around Europe continues. This time our attention goes to France.
And I think one country that a lot of people look at is France.
Ensuite, le nucléaire n'est pas mauvais pour les émissions de CO2. C'est même la manière aujourd'hui, avec les renouvelables, la plus décarbonée, comme on dit, de faire de l'électricité.
President Emmanuel Macron announced a plan to build up to 14 new nuclear power plants as the country transitions away from fossil fuels. A nuclear renaissance. Macron also says the country will boost its solar capacity tenfold and add 50 offshore wind farms in a bid to reach carbon neutrality by 2050.
France was one of the first countries to enact a climate law. And in 2019, the government put into legislation the goal of reaching net zero emissions by 2050. We had the chance to speak about it together with Nicolas Jubilain from Vertis. And we have discussed the following topics. If France has a strategic role in advancing Europe's climate ambitions, and how does the offsetting market look like?
Well, France has indeed an important role to play in relation with Europe's climate ambitions. And everything starts with the EU Council presidency, where in terms of the transition to carbon neutrality, we noted that France is committed to advancing some key projects, such as the implementation of the carbon border adjustment mechanism, the revision of the EU emission trading scheme, and both directives revisions such as energy efficiency and renewable energy. In relation with energy efficiency, we can highlight the fact that France implemented successfully the white certificate mechanism, targeting building renovation, modernization of industrial processes and logistics via its variety of methodologies. And last but not the least, I would mention the adoption of the regulation on electric batteries and their waste treatment. Offsetting markets indeed have a significant traction lately. And I think that as a major farming nation, and also by its presidency, France will seek to prioritize the Commission's plan relating agriculture and carbon farming, building on its domestic work on Label Bas Carbone. With the Commission's carbon removal certification mechanism due to be proposed by the end of the year, it is clear that the French presidency will try to influence the process so they can recognize the carbon removal potential of agricultural soils. And what we are witnessing is a growing interest to invest in those projects, with several local banks purchasing this type of credits.
France is home to one of the most important nuclear parks in the world, with 56 reactors spread over 19 nuclear sites. Each year around 405 terawatt-hours of nuclear power is produced. However, renewable energy is taking a growing share in the country's energy mix. Hydropower is currently the primary renewable energy source, representing 13% of the mix, followed by wind power, representing 7.9%. We have asked Maxime Yvonne from STX Services how does the French renewable market look like and which are the most traded environmental commodities.
We've seen with the current situation of the French nuclear power plants, how tricky it could be to have 80% of our consumption relying on one single source, and as we ended up importing power while the country has the capacity to be self-sufficient. I believe France must improve the diversity of its energy mix, and I think everybody could agree with it. That will only happen with the build of new capacity, wind and solar mainly, and with the current prices we see on the market, we could actually even consider not having to rely on the French feed-in tariffs, obligation d'achat, complément de rémunération, as in my opinion, I know this can be argued. It should not be the role of the government to finance the renewable industry, but the private sector. We could categorize the French environmental commodities in several sectors. The main one, which has also the biggest impact on the energy transition of the country, would be the white certificate scheme. Then we have the renewable energy certificates, obviously, which includes the guarantee of origin power, but also biomethane. Aside of these two categories, I would also mention the capacity mechanism, which is intended to safeguard the security of electricity supply in France during peak winter period. We can expect the geo market in France to evolve in some way or another. It's still unclear to me what could be the impact of French nuclear geos on the whole market and also on the end customers, the French ones. But surely we will see a change of mentality little by little. However, the main question for me is whether we will have a consumption full mix disclosure, or actually better question, when we will have it. Roughly today, we have 15% of our total French power consumption, which is being covered by GEOs, which is actually below the European average. So you can easily imagine the impact if a fuel mix disclosure was being implemented in France in the near future, as we would have to cover almost 350 terawatt of consumption with GEOs.
Thank you for watching. Keep following us and see you next time.